Hey, I would like to welcome you to Water Your Soil. So I'm assuming that you're here because you're interested in increasing your credit score. And I will tell you, this is a great time to start increasing your credit score for the year 2022. You want to get started right now. I know a lot of people like to start when the new year happened for New Year's resolution and things of that nature, but this honestly is the best time to start because you give yourself a little head start. So these are 3 things that you need to do right now in order to start that process of increasing your credit score. So I'm gonna list these 3 things. You want to watch the whole video. I thank you for stopping by. Let's get into it. Alright, so of course you're here because you want to increase your credit score. I know you see a lot of videos and a lot of information on social media and everywhere regarding credit. And yeah, credit is a big deal. You need your credit score for certain things, whether it's a business or you want to purchase a home or you need something like a vehicle, or maybe you need something like a personal home loan or a personal loan, whatever it is. I'm sure you understand the importance of credit. Now, some people, they don't understand the importance of credit and they act like credit is irrelevant and that's their business. However, if you're someone who understands the importance of credit, you know how important it is to have a good, healthy credit score. I always tell people having a good credit score is at minimum, a good plan B option. Because let's say you're someone who believes that cash is king and cash is everything and that all you need is cash. I'm someone who says at minimum it's good to have a plan B option with your credit score, just in case you do need something that's big, like a big loan or something to bail you out when you get in trouble, something like that. And I'm not talking about when you get in legal trouble. I'm talking about financial trouble, of course. So you need that. And I will say having credit as a good plan B option at minimum is a great situation to put yourself in. You know, you can be one of those people that say credit isn't that important, but it's always good to have that backup option. And at minimum, you want to have credit as a backup option. You don't necessarily have to live off of credit, but you do want it as at least a backup option. I'll say that. So we're gonna get right into the 3 things you need to do right now in order to start improving your credit score. Now, I will say with number 1, I think most people should know this already. And if you don't know this, it's like, think of a doctor and you have to have surgery on your leg. One of the first things they're gonna want to do is they're gonna want to do X-ray and MRI and things of that nature to find out what's wrong with it. So that's what you have to find out. You have to find out what is wrong with your credit. And the first way you identify what's wrong with your credit and your credit score is you have to go and download your credit report. Now, there are numerous ways you can obtain your credit report. I always tell people the easiest way, and that's go to annualcreditreport.com and download all 3 credit reports from all 3 bureaus. That's TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. You want to download each one of those. So after you go and you download your credit report, that's step 1. You have something that's very important in your hands, because once you do this, it will start the process of step number 2. Step number 2 is identify everything that are negatives on your credit report. I'm sure they'll stand out to you, whether it's overdue payments or payments that need to be made or high balances. High balances, that's an important one, because as I always tell people, you know, your credit score is basically based on how well you manage debt. A lot of people don't understand that concept. That all falls under the concept of credit, which I tell people about on this page, but it's basically all about how well you manage your debt. Of course, you have to have debt accounts. That's your debt, your accounts. So your accounts and how well you manage your accounts is basically what your score is going to be based on. So once you identify the negatives on your account, that's going to start to give you a clue where you need to attack. Now, I always tell people this because, you know, I'm sure you see videos and it says, you know, do certain things and you can increase your credit score. Or the infamous one is send dispute letters to increase your credit score. But what a lot of people don't understand, some people are not hurting. Their scores are not hurting because they have collections, you know, so they may not need to dispute certain accounts. So their thing is to focus on more than likely paying down their debt on their accounts. So if they have accounts like student loans or home loans or vehicle loans or anything of that nature, they want to chop down on their debt. And definitely with credit cards, you definitely want to chop down on that debt. And I say you need to pay your credit cards down. It's no point in carrying credit card balances. I always tell people to make sure once you finally get to the point where you have paid down your credit card balances, start that process of paying it off every single month. So if you spend and you use the card, make sure you start that process of paying it off every month. Every time you receive your bill, pay it off every month. I know some people come by here and they talk in the comments, oh, you shouldn't do that. Listen, I've been teaching people this for years and it works. When you get your bill, you pay the full balance, the statement balance off every month. Don't carry balances. It's kind of pointless to carry a balance. It's not gonna help your credit score. I guarantee you that. It's not gonna help you score. Now, if there's someone out there like the people in the comments who believe that carrying balances will help your credit score, then let them post a video or let them show you the way. But over here, I'm not gonna tell people to carry over balances because I know based on experience that is really not going to help your credit score. In fact, there's a high possibility carrying over balances will hurt your credit score. Of course, the financial institutions and the credit card distributors, they want you to carry over balance because that's how they get paid. They get paid off of the interest. So of course they're going to want that. But over here at Water Your Soil, do not carry over balances. That's one of the main things that I like to tell people because you don't want to begin that process of collecting credit card debt. I think that's one of the most silly debts that you can have is credit card debt, especially personal credit card debt. I think that's a very silly debt to have. So that's number 2. Number 3, of course, once you identify what's wrong, it goes by what I've previously been touching on. You want to start working at getting together and fixing whatever you identified as the negative on your credit report. So if you identify credit card debt as the negative, you want to start paying your credit card debt down. In fact, you want to get to the point where you pay all your credit card debt down, because I know it's people out there with $5,000, $10,000, some people even with $15,000 in credit card debt. So you want to get to that point where you pay it down and you pay it off, especially if it's credit card debt. Student loans, you want to chop that debt down. I feel as though I made multiple videos regarding student loans and student loan debts with the recent forbearance. You had 2 years, nearly 2 years of forbearance. And I constantly told people it was the perfect time to pay on your student loans because there was no interest. So you would have been able to chop down your student loan debt on principal. You would have been able to chop down that debt on principal had you been paying. But I know a lot of people, you know, they have financial circumstances, so they couldn't pay down on their student loans. So that's understandable. But it was a great opportunity to chop down your student loan debt during that forbearance period. Now it's about to end, and unfortunately, we're going to start seeing a lot of decreasing in credit scores because a lot of people they're not used to paying on their student loans. They forgot what it was like. But it's about to start back up. So I believe a lot of people are going to have missed payments and they're going to have late payments and things of that nature. And that's just natural. That's just what happens. But anyways, if it's student loans, you want to pay down that debt. Same thing for auto loans, home loans, things of that nature, even personal loans, whatever it is. More than likely, you have debt on your credit report and you want to pay that down. The more you begin to pay it down, your debt to credit ratio will change, and you should start seeing increases on your credit score. Now, like I said, every credit report is different, which is why I always tell people it's a case-by-case thing. I can't tell one person who has a different credit report to do the same thing that someone else with a totally different credit report, because, you know, they're totally different. You have to treat them differently. I'm not gonna go, let's say they both have a 660 credit score. I'm not gonna give them the same advice because I know more than likely their reason for their credit scores being a 660 is totally different depending on their credit report. So you have to treat things based on your negatives that's on your credit report. So what you want to do, like I said, step one, go and get your credit report for each credit bureau. You want to download it, or whatever way you get your credit report, make sure you have your credit report. Number two, you want to go over your credit report and you want to highlight the negatives, what you believe are the negatives. Look for debt, look for late accounts, look for high balances, look for all of those things, hard inquiries. You want to look for all those things because all those things can potentially be hurting your credit score. So you want to identify those things and you want to highlight those things. And number three, you begin the process of working on those things and cutting down the debt. And once you do that, like I said, you should start seeing changes and improvements in your credit score. 2022 is right around the corner, so you want to begin this process now. And the earlier you start this process, the quicker you'll start seeing results. I'd like to thank you all for watching Water Your Soil. As you can see, I have all these videos, and they're here on my channel to help you out with credit cards, whatever you want. I also have reviews, so be sure to check out my channel. Be sure to hit the like button if this video has helped you out in any way, and also be sure to subscribe. All right, enjoy your day. I'm out.